Okay, we'll be talking about this one slide dealing with performance appraisals and feedback. So, in an organization, part of our motivation when we're in a company, in an organization, is to move up, any upwards movement. That is part of our development and making sure that we achieve positions with greater responsibility and, better or different job titles and corresponding salaries and wages and benefits. So it's a big motivator, both externally, it's nice to have that additional wages and salaries, and also internally, having more responsibility, having a greater impact on an organization, getting decision making power, maybe have a team underneath you, whatever it is that you're looking for. So the performance appraisal event is an opportunity for us to get that development and growth and actually show to our manager that we're motivated as well. So, on the left side of the screen here, there is some advice for the person who is in the manager position, who is giving feedback to the employee. And on the right side of the screen here, it's tips for you as an employee how to deal with your manager or your leader. So let's start on the left side of the slide dealing with the giving performance feedback. So, a couple of phases or steps we can think of when it's time for performance appraisals or performance evaluation. We talk about it as sometimes as an evaluation. So, you want to make sure that both you as the manager and the employee do prepare for the meeting prior to the meeting. And one way to do this is to ask the person, the employee, him or herself, to also do a self appraisal. That way, they become invested in the process. They know that they have to prepare for it. They have to think about their own strengths, maybe their own opportunities for improvement, and so on. So, it's good for both of you to prepare for the meeting. You want to make sure that you have enough time for the meeting. If you have a lot of meetings back to back, it's kind of draining to talk to people. And so you might want to build in adequate time for that and adequate time for your meeting, because you want to make sure that you show up, you're positive, you're ready for the meeting, that you're signaling to the employee that this is important and that you care about this. And obviously private area to talk. So it shouldn't be a place that's maybe associated with negativity or anything else, but maybe an area that is not distracting. So giving performance appraisal is important. We don't do it very well in organizations, so this is an opportunity for us to signal to the employee that we are caring about their development and making sure that they are well prepared, trained for their job. During the actual meeting, then, we want to think of a few things. A good idea is to start with some specific praise or acknowledgments or recognitions. You want to start out on a positive note. You want to set a good mood for this performance event. You want to make sure that everybody's like loosening up and that we are open and receptive. And so just recognizing positive performance that the employee has done is a good way to do that. So identify things that they're doing really, really well and start the meeting with that. You also want to identify again opportunities for improvement for the employee. That is something that you can have the employee do, or you guys do together. But areas of strength and then areas for improvement. Obviously, the employee should be allowed to talk. It should be a free flow in the dialogue. This is not a one-way communication that you are telling or lecturing the employee, but it's a dialogue about how we can make sure that the employee is set up to do the best that they can going forward. So with that, you're showing empathy, you're showing support, you're showing that you care, you're listening in, and just being present with the employee. You want to set goals towards the end of the meeting. What are some goals that are in the short term, maybe in the intermediate term, and in the longer term? What are the specific goals? What are the action steps that's going to take the employee from today to those goals? Those would be part of the action plans. What is the timeline for that? Does the employee need resources? Do they need coaches? Do they need training? So, what do we need to provide as an organization to the employee to make sure that they meet the goals that are set? So That is during the meeting. And then after the meeting, just don't leave it at that. Make sure that you check in regularly, check in with the employee, give feedback, make sure that you praise and recognize when they do something really well. If you see areas of improvement, as quickly as possible, make sure that you're communicating with the employee the feedback that you have for them regarding their behavior. So you're identifying behavior that are not high performance behavior. You need to write down what those are so you have specific examples for the employee that you can talk about. And do it as soon as possible, right? Don't wait a week or a month or a year to actually give the feedback. It should be as quickly as possible. So make sure that you check back in and then you follow through on the goals that you set with the employee. All right. On the right side of the slide is the guidelines for seeking feedback, so that when you are in the employee position and you want to make sure that you develop, how do you do it? So the first thing is to, if you don't have regular set meetings with your boss, or the boss is not that great at giving feedback, make sure that you seek it out. It shows initiative. It shows that you care about your own development, that you're excited about learning and doing better. Clearly, you don't want to go to the extent of annoying somebody. So you have to read the situation and you have to read your boss a little bit. But getting regular feedback should be a normal thing. And if they are just not on it, like they're too lazy, they don't have time, it's okay to actually ask them for it and explain that it's really important for you to receive this feedback, and maybe come up with a few specific questions that you can ask and float by the boss. Be genuine, right? Seek this information out and be authentic and genuine. You want to learn, you want to do better. If you don't come off as authentic and genuine, it's going to look like you're just faking it and you're doing it just to kiss up, and that is not a good place to be. We don't want to look like we're doing impression management. It really has to come from your gut, from your heart. So if you don't want any feedback, if you don't want to learn, if you don't want to develop, then maybe not seek it out, right? Develop good relationships with those that you work with. Ask them about how their weekend was and what hobbies they're into or what movies they were watching. Just try to have that positive relationship. Be there for them, help them out. This will help you get good feedback and get accurate feedback and faster feedback, as well as information. Just developing good relationships with people you work with is just overall a good thing to do. And then, find those peers, those coworkers, those people around you that will actually give you accurate information, honest information. They're not going to fake it. So if you need some stuff to improve, or in some areas you need to improve, or some behaviors that are not very successful, they know you well enough and they know that you're not going to lash out or get angry if they share this accurate feedback. Feedback is really a gift. People are putting themselves on the line to give constructive feedback. And if they give it to you, it means they value you enough to the extent that they want to help you. And so we can't be angry with them. We can't be defensive. We need to thank them for the feedback. And then we need to take it and do something with it to make sure that we apply it to ourselves and learn from it. And the same goes for you. If you want to help your friends, your coworkers, your peers, writing down specific examples of behaviors or communications, and when the opportunity is right, when they ask for it, feel free to share it in a non-judgmental, non-evaluative manner, right? Because we all do want to grow, and it's hard to get feedback because we feel like people are criticizing us. So we have to be gracious. We have to thank them. Feedback really is a gift that is given to us so that we can grow and develop. So these are 5 guidelines for seeking feedback, and I encourage you all to do it. So good luck, go forth, and do great.